A brand new Remington Firearms weapon pack was just added to Way of the Hunter, and the updated weapons are completely free, so I wanted to come out here and check them all out today. And the first thing we'll do is just take a look in the store. So this Remington 783 was already in the game, but if we scroll down, we've got the Remington 700 long range, that is in caliber 300 Win Mag. Got the 673 guide rifle, that is a 350, so that's a new caliber. We've got the 1903 in 30-06, and the 7600 in 270, a 270 pump. I think that could be kind of fun, and we might see how we can do with that a little bit more than some of the others. Then if we scroll down to the shotguns, we have the 870 Wingmaster, that is a 20 gauge, and the V3 Waterfowl Pro in 12 gauge. I think a 12 gauge semi-auto could be really good as well, but we are first going to get a couple of rifles, and we'll go out and give them a try. And just one quick thing, I think there's some kind of issue or something. We owned this scope before, the Leupold VX6 HD. I don't know why we have to buy it again, but I was trying to attach it to our rifles and couldn't find it. That may happen to you guys as well, it may not, but if you're looking for it and can't find it in your inventory, it may need to be repurchased. But anyway, I intend to test each gun with at least 2 shots, and my plan is to do one kind of long range shot and one closer range shot. Long range being somewhere in the area of 300 yards and close range being under 150. And I think with this opportunity to get a 1-star mature whitetail at about 300, we'll go for that first with the 270. So the first 2 guns I have are the 270 and the 350, and I'm really intrigued to see how this does. So let's go ahead and try to slot that shot in there. That was an interesting reaction. I like the reload animation, and let's see if we can locate the one that we shot. I'm not real sure where he went, so we'll just place a marker and go and take a look. The blood does look good. I still have no idea where it went, but I guess that's a positive that we managed to make a lung shot. I will be interested in a couple of things now. Number one is going to be just how far we have to track him compared to what we typically use in the 308. And then the other big one is going to be meat wastage for all these rifles, just to see if there's any good reason to maybe carry one over the ones that are already in the game. But first thing we gotta do is find a direction here. And once we're able to do that, the track was not that bad. Now he did kind of loop back around, so that cut off a little bit of the distance since we could just see him laying here. But let's take a look. It was 305 yards. The shot was not that great, so I'm going to at least put a little bit of the lack of lung damage by penetration down to just where we placed the shot. It was enough to bring him down pretty quickly regardless though, and I think with a well-placed shot, no doubt you'd hit both lungs. I'm not going to say for certain you would hit them with enough energy, but you can see everything that we did impact was with plenty of bolt energy to take down a whitetail. Obviously 36%, but the important thing here is going to be meat loss, which is less than 3 pounds. Not too bad. Now with the 270, I wouldn't expect it to be much. I'm more intrigued with like the 300 and the 350, where you go after elk or moose and just kind of see what those do. But as for now, while we're in deer territory, we'll look for one more for a close range shot. Now this probably won't be the most scientific comparison exactly. We're not going to always get to the exact same ranges, but with these whitetail kind of being onto us, we'll try to take one of these 2-star matures, and I kind of like that one's antlers, so we'll try to go for that. Right around 100 yards, I think. So if we can get our zeroing down, probably stand up here, and then place this hopefully where it can get through to both lungs. He definitely looks, wow. We may need a third shot. I don't know if we shot him in the heart maybe. I was going to say he looks hit well, which obviously he was going down that quick, but I wouldn't have expected the 308 to do that. This will be interesting. After the first shot, before getting to see what happened, I thought there was no way this was going to even compare, but our shot placement wasn't that good. What actually happened here? We did hit him in the heart. Okay, so that makes sense. I do want to try to go for one more double lung just to kind of see what you may call a more typical shot kind of tends to do. Hitting the heart is great, but it's definitely not going to happen every time. We still, though, did hit the right lung pretty well, got a bit of the left lung even still, And just to kind of check at that range, meat wastage's just under 3 pounds again, so you can be certain when you're hunting deer, less than 1% of the animal is going to be wasted roughly. But let's see if we can find one more to shoot at that range, maybe a bit more broadside, or maybe just not end up shooting in the heart. I'm kind of glad that we went over here to look for one more. That is a pretty promising 4-star mature mule deer, and I'm thinking, just based on the time, probably they are coming down here to drink, so that's a zone we can work with. There's a couple of 1-star adults, so I want to get a little bit closer, really not much though, to test this one more time. Maybe kind of like that. We're going to end up with a similar range anyway, which is probably for the best. So that guy there, right through, that should kind of work. Now, it's not going to be the best kind of double lung look. If we shot that in the heart again, there's almost no way. We were kind of behind the shoulder, but once again, it took like 3 steps and dropped. I'm really not too sure what to make of this. So this time, straight up double lung, there's a tiny bit of expansion damage to the heart, but not enough to where it really would have mattered. And again, the angle is what's important here. That had a lot of flesh and stuff to go through before it even got to the near side lung, let alone the far side lung, which was hit with lower than recommended energy. But the important thing on top of all that is that he didn't go anywhere. I am thoroughly impressed, and again, just to take a look with the mule deer, just under 1% of the overall weight loss to the shot. So the 270, that might be something we start to carry really often. Now, to be honest, I didn't really intend to try to get a black bear for this test, but I actually think that could be pretty decent for the 350, so it's just under 150 yards. Gonna try to get that shot in there somewhere like we just did for the mule deer. That is pretty promising to begin with. I want to see if he's just gonna run off or if he's going to go down. It looks like he will run, but there's pink blood on that log. Definitely was a lung hit. And let's kind of see how this goes. I do find that maybe of all the species on Nez Perce Valley, black bear might be the most resilient. Now, that could be a problem. Well, I think I see it. I'm pretty sure that's it. I don't know if we can get to claim that or not. It looks like it's fairly far underwater, but at least we know it didn't go that far. That's definitely it. It is right there. I don't know if we can find a way to get to that. We shouldn't have to get a whole lot closer. I'm considering like the Jeep or something, but I don't know. Oh, okay. I guess that's not gonna work. I'll try the Jeep then. I don't know what I thought was gonna happen, but I don't think that's gonna work either. Oddly enough. Can we get out? Like, if we can make it super quick. Obviously, we just killed the Jeep, but can't spin around and claim it, so I guess we're not gonna get it. We know it took it down quick. I guess that's the positive, but the negative is we don't learn anything from the shot info, so probably still gonna shoot 2 more things with that. So hopefully this time, we won't have any animals running underwater after making the shot, but a 2-star mature moose, which is very obviously kind of uneven, and that would indicate he's never going to get anywhere near 5 stars. Now, probably as a 2-star mature, that's enough of an indication, but if we needed any more evidence, that will be something to look at. So we're going to try to scoot in at least to maybe 180, something like that. Ideally, he'll turn broadside for us again at some point here, and I'd say from here, whenever he does, we can try to go for the shot. It's a little farther than we want, but as he keeps kind of sneaking in, that will help us. That shot looked to be right where I wanted it. Not sure what was going on with his legs there going up the hill, but that is our second shot now from the 350. I will say, moose generally don't seem to run that far. Now, something else to add, there have been changes with this update and the last. Really nice reload animation there for the 350 as well. And maybe moose have gotten a buff. I don't know that for sure, but I would have expected that to go down a little quicker. He is, though, laying right there, so probably ran, I'd say, less than 100 yards. Not too bad. I do want to see exactly where the shot hit him. because that is going to be key in determining if the 350 is better than the 300, worse than the 300, or where it kind of stands. So that was double lung, but barely. Mostly right lung, got the left lung with next to no energy left. 184 yards? I actually would have thought it would do a little bit more, but let's go through here and see. 54% kind of to be expected there. 8 pounds of meat loss, so pretty low on that end. We've seen, for instance, the 338 is like 50 pounds or more of meat loss. That's not a bad deal. We'll have to compare at some point, probably not in today's video because we have a lot of weapons to go over still. Just the 300 versus the 350. Now there is the Remington 300, so that we will use today, and if we can get a moose with that, that would be good. But good to kind of get a little baseline without having our animal escape underwater. I have been following this herd of whitetail for quite some time actually. I thought I saw a decent buck in here, and I'm thinking it must have been one of the 2 3-star matures that are in here. Now, typically, I wouldn't shoot a 3-star mature buck, but I'm looking at this. His brow tines are pretty uneven, and I think that's kind of indicative of probably subpar genetics. So with the 30-06 now, we are going to attempt the shot, hope that he's not a really high genetic potential buck, and just kind of see how it does. That is our first shot, but it looks like it did pretty decent. And again, kind of to be expected, it's tough to get a perfect angle every time. Not the best of shot angles, but it certainly performed decently well. And I would say he made it maybe 10 yards beyond where we last saw him, so brought him down pretty quickly. Let's hope this was not a mistake, but lung and liver actually, and a little bit of intestine damage as well. Not half bad. I would kind of equate that to probably a little worse than a double lung shot, but pretty close considering the angle that we had to work with. 70%, so definitely one that we wanted to take out. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, very much uneven. It was not just the brow tines that went into that. So just to compare, again, right about 1% meat loss, so very similar to the 270. And that at least will be our close range shot for that. Not sure it was worth chasing them for like 45 minutes like I did through the woods trying to get a look at them, but good to know there's another herd out there with decent genetics anyway. I have heard moose sound analysis of them fleeing so many times up here and never actually seen them. So this is up at the lake where we shot a couple of 5-star elk in the southwest corner, and finally we actually get to lay eyes on the moose. Now they've been here so much, I kinda doubt that that one's going to have really high potential, but then again, I can't be certain of it. So I guess we'll still try to sneak into where we can at least spot them. I saw there's at least 3 bulls in here, I think. And I truly have no idea where they are gonna try to get to, so I think probably we'll need to move fairly quickly just to get to a spot where we can get a shot off. Because I'm not 100% sure that I want to take the shot at that range with the 350, but we might get our long range chance here somewhat soon. And I'm gonna say a 1-star adult, that'll be just fine to go for that one. So whether he stands there still or just kind of walks out from behind that tree, I want to go ahead and try to get that shot. I think he's going to present it. Just need to wait it out till he takes a few more steps. And we do want to make sure he's well clear of the tree, because we have seen far too many times trees or brush kind of like stopping your shot. So one more step. That looked just about right. I see pink blood from here. And let's see, because we can see a little better than the last time, we'll probably see where he goes down, and it's going to be right there. That's a lot more what I would have expected from the first one, and quite honestly, it wasn't much different than that, but he did run a little bit farther, so I'm going to say at least the 350 from fairly, a small sample size, it's pretty much on par with the 300. So just quickly, we'll confirm that that wasn't some kind of crazy heart shot that brought him down quickly, and I would actually say it's pretty similar to the shot at 190 or whatever it was. Right lung and got the left lung with just about no energy remaining. I think that was like 400 joules at that shot, so 40% good one to take out. And at that range, we're still under 1% of meat wastage, so pretty decent. I thought I read something about the antlers and where they attach the skull kind of changing in this update. Might not be in the harvest screen though. But moving on to our long range shot for the 30-06. we've got a 1-star adult mule deer out here, and if we can kind of back this up just a little bit, while he's standing still, I'd like to get the shot off. Kind of got some walking around him, but there was a chance to get the shot through there. Some were still standing there feeding, and he must have gone a different direction. I'm pretty confident it was a good hit, but I completely lost sight of him. And in fact, the reason was, I think, he got behind this one bit of brush and then just dropped. That was not bad. 300 yards exactly. Double lung got right in behind the shoulder there. Pretty good deal. Again, hitting the far side lung with less than ideal energy, but brought him down really fast. That was a 39%, and to be expected, just under 1% of meat wastage. So all the rifles so far have been basically the proper caliber and weapon to use for the specific animals that we have shot, whether that's whitetail, whether that's moose. I assume black bear would have been fine, but we couldn't find that out. That does leave us now, though, with only the new 300 Win Mag Remington and the 2 shotguns. Now that could be interesting. We have, I think, our second 5-star wild duck, and I think the fact that we only have shotguns and the Remington 700 long range left, it kind of made it pretty clear that we should be hunting in the north for moose and waterfowl, and the first thing we find is a 5-star duck. So we'll try to kind of scoot our way around there and get close enough to flush it and go for the shot. My plan, actually, as we have some literally right in front of us, I don't know if that's going to spook everything. Probably should get away from them. But my plan had been to come to this lake, shoot a couple ducks with the 870, and then get the 12 gauge. I can't remember the specific weapon name for that. I guess if we can take a 5-star duck, that'll be even better. Well, everything is kind of flying around. I don't know if they're spooked or not. I mean, it says they're calm, so we may get a chance at that still. I'm gonna keep an eye on it because they're sort of coming our way, but not exactly. He's like kind of the top right duck. I mean, they're gonna come in range. We just need to hit the shot when he comes over here. That's not gonna do it. Can barely see, going straight over us. Still trying to make sure we keep our eyes on the right one. This is going to be our best chance as they go directly over. That hit him. I actually don't know if that'll kill him or not. I have never had that happen before. Should be interesting. That shot did not hit. I'm still trying to make sure I keep track of the right duck. Assuming that I'm still looking at the right one. For whatever reason, they're not going all that far, all that fast. That said, wow, I think we hit him again. I don't even know if we just shot the right duck, but considering he landed over the water, it really may not matter. I don't even know if we can get him after all that. We are going to be able to recover whatever duck we actually killed. It was shot 3 times, so I think we got the right one. It is a 5-star duck in probably the lamest way possible, but big thing here. At least in the harvest screen, the models are way better. I'll put the old one on screen just to kind of compare. They were not nearly as good, so that's good to see. Meat wastage of still less than a pound despite the fact that we shot it all those times. Let's be sure to taxidermy that, and a couple quick kind of assessments of that shotgun. I wouldn't put much on the accuracy. I'm really not too good with the shotguns in this game. I do kind of find that it's not the easiest to aim. I felt like the others were a little bit better. I don't know if it's the blur that's messing with me, or maybe just the fact that I don't do much waterfowl hunting, but we're going to give it one more try since this flock is landed over here. Might be a little bit less chaotic when we're not trying to shoot one specific duck. Maybe it'll perform a little bit better. And I think I was going to say we'll just run at them, but if they are taken off, we can attempt to get some shots, but they're kind of just going all kinds of odd directions. That didn't help us. But I kind of get the impression that ducks must have like a home range or something, because just waiting here, they're coming right back over. So let's see this time if we can do any better. Got a couple there. Still not the best of shooting, but again, that's more so on me than the gun. I can't aim any higher. I guess when crouched. That should have been a hit, but aimed a little bit too far back. Not exactly the smoothest, but I think we got 2 or 3. Looking like only the 2, so one more thing to add as far as our kind of assessments go here is we got a... Ooh, boy, that would have been a 5-star probably. Same percentage as the one that we just shot. The ducks still could use a rework. They're not exactly the most realistic. As for the shotgun, I think it's fine. Just gotta learn to actually shoot it. The hen mallard model is quite good, but we'll get the other new Remington shotgun. Kind of compare that, the 12 gauge versus the 20 gauge, and in the meantime, maybe get a shot at a moose or two. So now comes our opportunity to compare with the semi-auto 12 gauge that also came with this pack, and there's a couple of nice ducks in here. Considering we just shot another 5-star, I don't think I'm going to be too worried, but if we don't end up killing the 4-star, that probably would be for the best. So we're going to flush these on purpose and just kind of see, as they're flying all these weird directions, if we can do any better with this. I felt like some of those shots were okay, but they are just not connecting. We're going to try this again on another flock here. No idea what's in it. That was just fine. That also worked. Like, I don't feel like I'm aiming any different. Maybe I just am. But we got 3 and hit a 4th there? I don't know what to make of that. Maybe we were just shooting too far away. It could have been that, because we did see the first time that we were getting some hits that weren't resulting in kill shots. Maybe the range has been significantly reduced for the shotguns, because I do feel like before it would take them down pretty consistently pretty far away. We did get 2 Drakes even still, actually a couple of pretty low percentage ones, so that was a good deal. If we get one more chance with this shotgun as we're going along, I think that would be good, but I feel like we got a fair look at both. I do find that the fiber optic sight and just like the smaller profile of the gun itself does make it easier for me to kind of get on target quickly, but both seem plenty serviceable. I just kind of think maybe our approach wasn't quite right in the range we were taking the shots at. But it sounds like we'll get one more try here with some Ross's geese, which are not a species we've shot very many of, so we'll kind of see how this goes. Same approach. I'm actually not going to run. We're going to walk right in, because I think it's easier to get in close without flushing them by walking, and clearly that is the case, but they will eventually go. A little bit odd again, like the patterns they fly in. Got that one. Probably already getting a little bit too far, so we actually got 2 still. Not bad. So there could be 2 things to kind of be gained from what we've seen between the 2 shotguns. Number 1, I still do think the 12 gauge is a little easier to aim and maneuver, but we also kind of practiced with it first, so probably we could have done just about as well with it if we basically swapped the order and used the 20 gauge second. So we're left now with nothing but the 300 Win Mag, and I don't expect it to perform any different than the Steyr, but I still want to kind of see how we do. We're a little closer than I wanted to be, but when these elk kind of started coming across here, I didn't want to do too much moving around, so I think that also is a 1-star mature. Gonna be curious to see how that went. Maybe it's not the same as the Steyr 300 Win Mag. The hunting class and stuff are the same. I can't imagine that was spine, and it most certainly was not heart. Now, we were up kind of high. Maybe we just got the underside of the spine? According to this, it was just double lung. So there's only one thing that maybe could matter here, and that's going to be the meat wastage, 16%. That was definitely one to take out. So now it's about 1%, maybe a little higher than you might expect from the Steyr, but if any, it's not much. That is really interesting, because it kind of to me reminded me of shooting an elk or a moose with the 338, like an insta drop where they don't go far at all, but it is sort of overpowered just based on, again, the meat loss that you see in the harvest screen. That was not overpowered in any way. Range could have mattered a little, but I don't think that much. I'm going to be intrigued to try a 300 meter shot. I think going to the mountains is going to be the best way to do that. Now, let's see what happens. I would say this is about as good an opportunity as we are going to get, around 290 yards. And actually, as that 1-star mature stands up, maybe we can go ahead and get the shot in there from there. I would have liked to have gone over 300, but considering the situation, I think that will work. And I was a little worried that we may actually have a complete kind of pass through there and hit one of the cows behind him, but that didn't happen. our bull is still kind of going, but I don't think he's going to be going a whole lot further. And I would say, seeing that now, is not too much different, as I believe he's just going down right over in there from the Steyr 300 Win Mag that we've been using for quite some time. So, just for the aesthetics, I may end up going with this one instead. I do quite like it. The stainless steel barrel is a really nice touch. And you can see like the texturing of the stock. I do really like wood grain weapons, but especially because it's something new, and again, just the way that it looks with the scope and everything. This may be my choice, but not because of anything to do with performance. As far as I can tell, they are very similar, but mostly because of just how it looks. As for the rest of the guns, the shotguns, I don't think they are necessarily any different than the shotguns that already existed in the game. The 270 I really liked, and the 30-06 has probably my favorite reload animation, so we may kind of swap those out here and there as we're running around, but I don't know, I still think the 308 is probably the best kind of mid-game rifle there is. I don't think the 270 is too far behind it, and as for the 350, I don't know, I kind of put it in the same category as the 300. Perfectly acceptable, not overpowered, but I kind of like the performance of the 300 Win Mags a little bit better, so I'll probably be sticking with those for the majority of our loadouts. But the big thing is, we do now have, I feel like, a lot more options for viable weapons to kind of switch up our loadouts going forward, and I think that always helps in keeping the game a little bit interesting. So, as for our bull, he is down right here. I do want to see just quickly how everything went. Double lung at 285 yards, kind of middle damage on both. The right lung being the one that we shot first. Interesting that it wasn't, like, full damage. I guess that's due to the range. I'm not sure, but 42% and a meat wastage of 6 pounds, just as we would expect from everything else that we have seen today. I don't know why that brought up the pause menu for a second. But anyway, that is all of the new guns. And like I said, I think the Remington 300 Win Mag is going to be a mainstay in our future loadouts. The 270, the 30-06, they'll probably cycle in with a 308 here and there. And I'm actually just excited to, get to see new content being added to the game. That was something that was talked about. It really hasn't been out that long, and already we have a new update with the free weapons. I should also state, free in terms of the game itself. No real money being spent. You do have to use in-game money to buy the weapons, just in case there was any confusion there. But I think we'll let these guys go. And on that note, we gotta jump back to the lodge for our 5-star duck. And it's going to be a pretty easy choice as to where to place it. We've been really starting to kind of expand our lower level here, and getting the 5-star duck there is going to help to kind of just fill things in a little bit down in this area. So nice to get another 5-star, especially when we're just kind of going on a hunt where getting trophies is not the main goal. Just testing out the weapons and see how they perform really was the entire purpose. So that's a nice little bonus, getting to add to our Nez Perce Valley Trophy Lodge yet again. And like I said, looking forward to getting to use some of those weapons in the near future. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.